guys, 20-minute stretch here just to kind of get us open any time of the day, but more so in the morning time to get you energized and open. But of course you can do it at night as well. I have blocks. You can use books or cushions. If you don't have blocks, I have a strap. You can use towel or scarf or something like that. So we're just going to start seated on the yoga block or the cushion, and just take a few moments here, crossing at the ankles, reaching your inner thighs to the floor, opening up the bottom of the hips so the sitting bones open, and feeling your hip bones, those pelvic bones, the top of your hips lifted up, maybe a little bit more forward. A lot of times they'll slouch back. So we're tipping the hips, lifting them up, but maybe tipping them a little bit forward if you have a tendency to be in a backward tip. But definitely have the hips and the ribs connected with each other. The rib tips and the hip tips, have them aligned. Shoulders open, chest lifted. Okay, so we're just gonna start with some nice breaths in and just feeling the tailbone rooted down, or the base of the spine rooted down as you lift the rest of the spine up. And as we exhale, come over to the side. We're gonna do some Ujjayi Pranayama, so you should feel and hear the breath at the back of the throat. So inhale, feel that breath like wind at the back of your throat. Hold the breath and stretch your lungs. And as you exhale, exhale through the throat and empty, empty, empty. Let's try that again. Nice inhale up. So it's a good stretch for about, like I said, 20 minutes, just to get us open here. And then exhale, feel and hear that breath at the center of the throat. And pause. One more time, inhaling up. Hold the breath. And exhale. Inhaling up again. And come forward. Squeeze your belly in. Squeeze that tailbone down. So your hands can go to the floor, and I'm just going to shift the block out from underneath me and settle back with my hips. But if you feel like the block is good for you to stay there, go ahead and do that. So you're going to press your fingers wide, feel your hands into the ground. Try to feel your sitting bones reach back and wide. The shoulders are wide. The chest is stretching forward. And you're breathing in and breathing out as you try to keep a straight back, no rounded back, coming down. You take a nice deep breath in, hold the breath in the body, and exhale completely. And one more time, really hear that breath. And exhale completely. And we'll lift up, so rise up and bring the hands behind and open up through the legs. Okay, so we're going to get as wide as you feel comfortable here, but make sure that the legs are evenly apart, so one leg is not wider than the other. Bring your hands behind your back or behind your hips or behind your legs, and slightly tip your pelvis forward. Okay, so we're going to keep those hip bones lifted up. A lot of times they'll fall back like that, and if you have a hard time doing that, you can take your yoga block and sit on that, or your cushion and sit on that, and make sure that you're getting that nice stretch. Okay, so we're going to lift, lift, lift. And we want to continuously tip the pelvis forward as you make your way to the floor. The legs are pressing down, heels and toes have that good alignment. And we breathe in, breathe out as we move those hips forward. Now again, you want to definitely pull your legs nice and wide and press the backs of your legs to the ground. And so we engage the breath here. So once we understand what we're doing with the right and left hips and the legs and lengthening the spine, we feel that nice breath in, hold the breath, and we exhale and empty and come down a little deeper. And we try that again. Maybe reach the hands a little further to pull the chest forward. And exhale. And one more time. Get that nice breath in. And pull. And then when you're ready, come right back up and lift through the hips again, nice and tall. I'm going to bring the hand over to the right. Some of you guys can use the strap if you want to, or you can even put the yoga block there and just let your head rest on the block. I'm going to reach this arm open so the chest is open when we do this. So however you want to hold on, strap, foot, or elbow. Okay. And we're going to pull that chest open on the side here, but we're also opening this one underneath. So do your best to keep that open. As you stretch that left hip and stretch your lower back. Now you can start to bend your elbow towards the floor and reach over a little bit more. Let that throat open and your head go back. And then rise up when you're ready. And again, feel free to use the block on this side if you want to, or grab for the foot, or grab for the strap. So open up your chest here, lift, 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 and breathe out as you start to stretch the chest and the hip. Really send that right hip away, keep the throat open, and lengthen two sides of the chest wall as you breathe in and breathe out. Maybe start to bend that left elbow down toward the floor. Beautiful. And let's release and bring that back in. I'm going to grab hold of the backs of the knees and reach them in. And just tuck in, round through the back, squeeze the belly. Inhale and exhale. As we come back up through the back, we're going to open up through the feet a little bit and stretch your pelvis up and forward, and then rock your pelvis back. And try that a few times. We're going to lift the pelvis up and forward. Try to keep the ribs and the hips connected. Chest lift. Exhale. Rock the pelvis back. One more time, really opening up that lower back. And back. This time we lift those hips up into a neutral position. Bring that right leg in and our left leg back behind us. So our knees are lined up. Now you can use the yoga block behind you or just right to the floor. I'm going to try to roll forward this left hip so it's not sitting back, but it's forward, and we have nice length and stretch to this muscle. Try not to turn your chest to the side if you can help it. So place your thumb against your sternum and hold your sternum into the center. Go ahead and lift up and try to lift your chest while you lift the hips and stretch the belly. You're opening up the shoulders, the neck. If it's too much for your neck, you can keep the chin tucked into the chest and continue to work your chest open as you breathe in and breathe out. And then slowly bringing it back down. All right. And we come right over to the other side. So we'll bring that leg in, the leg out to the side. So again, knees are aligned and hand on block behind you or on the floor, rolling that hip forward. So we have this nice open place position. Again, you're trying to turn your chest back to the center, not over to the side. So do your best using the thumb against the sternum if you want to, and opening up the chest, the hips, the throat. Otherwise you draw your chin in if it's too much on your neck. And breathe out. Nice, good, strong breathing. Spread those fingers. And then slowly releasing it down. Very good. We're going to make our way onto all fours, working a little cat and cow pose. So we're just going to have our wrists right under the shoulders, elbows in, nice and strong, inside elbows forward, lower belly's engaged. Just stretch the hips downward, the front of the hips, and then stretch the hips backwards. So you're pulling the belly in. And And try that one more time. Inhale, stretch that lower belly and hips. And exhale. Come back into the center position and stretch our right leg up and out. Stretch the back of the knee and the left arm. You want to lift the back of the heart up. Keep the arms strong. Breathe in, breathe out. Toes of that right foot down. And then turn your hands so your thumb is up and you're opening your shoulder. And release, bringing that leg in, knee right under hip. Do the same thing on the other side. So left leg extends, back of the knee stretches, right arm comes out. Left arm straight and strong. Breathe in, breathe out. Toes of the left foot down. Turn your thumb up. And slowly release. All right, we are going to have the knees down, shins down, walk the hands forward, and then drop your elbows down as you sink back into child's pose. So you're resting your belly on your thighs, elbows down, and the head comes down. Inhale and exhale. And slowly come up and into downward facing dog. So we're going to curl those toes under and just walking out the Achilles, the heels, and stretching the heels down, moving the shoulders back and letting your head hang down. Hollow out your belly. And breathing in, breathing out. Okay. I'm going to come down to kneeling and open up through the hips. So the hands will go right behind the hips again. We're lifting the hips up. We're lifting the chest up. The hands can go with fingertips up if you want to help to lift the hips up. Elbows together. And again, your chin can stay in if your neck feels good. You're squeezing your elbows toward each other and letting the head go back. Just keep trying to open the hips. Lift, lift, lift. And one. All right, slowly release and come down. So we're going to turn and be on a side kneeling position. So we'll bring the right leg out to the side, whether you're on your mat or not on your mat, however you want to do it. But try to align your hips here. So again, we're lifting the hips, lifting the chest. If you have one hip higher than the other, just recognize it, align it, keep this leg strong, knee possibly in line with the arch of that foot. We'll just lift the arms up just to keep aligning the chest and the hips. Try not to arch forward with the ribs. Open the arms out to the side and come over to our right leg and continue lifting chest and hip. And your hand can either stay there or it can go to the block or the floor behind, and that'll help you to stretch even more. And then we'll lift and we'll bend this knee and turn it out and come into our side lunge. All right, so really opening up inside the hip. This arm is open. It can come over again for that chest stretch, but really seeking space inside the pelvis. Seeking that Ujjayi Pranayama, that deep breathing. Sound at the back of the throat. And release. And come up. Okay, and we'll try the other side. So once again, you want to just align through the hips and making sure that foot is in line with the knee here. Make sure one hip's not higher than the other. Just keep doing your best to keep the hips rib alignment. Lift through the chest. Breathe in, breathe out. Open the arms out to the side and do your best to keep the hips aligned as you come over. Heart is open. Nice big stretch. Breathe and breathe out. And we'll rise up and just bend this knee, turn it out, and come into our lunge. So you can rest your arm here if you want to, of course, or reach down, stretch open, hips open, inside of the hips, get a good stretch. Try to release tension from the neck, shoulders, upper back, and sink a little more. Beautiful. All right, let's come on up. And we're going to come down onto our side here, and we'll have this top foot in front, bottom leg out. Okay, we're going to start to lift up through the hip and take this top arm over. And as you come down, we'll open that hip. And release. All right, we'll come to the other side, so just swing it over. Just again, nice easy stretch here. Just bring that top foot in front, elbow down, and lift as high as you can. Top arm can go over if you want to. And release. And open that knee. Just let it drop open and turn. Beautiful. All right. So we're going to come onto the back and make sure you have your strap or your towel right with you. I'm going to go ahead and come down onto the back here and just adjust your hips and your shoulders so your head's in the center. Everything's aligned just like it was when we were seated or kneeling. Navel is in, sacrum is grounded. Try not to tip your pelvis backwards so that your bum comes up and your hips are tipped back. Try to keep those hips lifted in line with the ribs, shoulders nice and square, chest is open, right? So breathing in, breathing out. So as you keep that alignment, we're going to do a quick stretch here for the hamstring. Just bring your strap around the toes, ball mounds of the toes, right? And start to extend the leg. Now your other knee can be bent or it can be straight. Just try to keep the hip form. So when this leg lifts, your hip might tip backwards. So you want to try to keep that hip lifted and try to stretch right there at the calf, hamstring, behind the knee. So breathe in, breathe out, get heavy on the arms. Shoulders go back. And that nice inhale, exhale. Keep encouraging the stretch behind the heel, behind the knee, calf and the leg. And continue to encourage your hip to stay nice and stable and not fall back. All right, and then when you're ready, release that down and extend. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can bend the other leg to get you into the right position. And again, keeping your pelvis stable. Try to put it right around the balls of the feet rather than the arch. And extend. And again, if you like, extend. Keep that pelvis nice and lifted, shoulders back, stretching the back of the leg. Just a nice inhale and exhale. Just continue listening to the breath. Stretch behind the heel. All right, and then when you're ready, release that down. Okay, so you can circle that in, go around, and tuck the knees into the chest. Again, with knees tucked in, you want to keep the hips nice and active. Just rocking side to side. Keep that sacrum on the ground. So you breathe in and breathe out, and relieve any tightness. bringing the left leg out. Bring your right knee across your body. Stretch the right shoulder as far down and as far away to the right as you can, using your hand to help you pull. So your chest is lifted and open, and you're pulling your leg all the way across. So keep that chest open. Nose can be to the ceiling or can turn away from the knee. Try to keep that other leg straight so the back of the heel stays on the ground. And keep your pelvis active as you breathe in, breathe out. And slowly release it, center. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to have that leg straight. Other knee comes in, left knee comes in. Left arm stretches all the way out. Press it out there. Pull that knee and that hip across. Again, try not to turn the other leg. Try to keep that heel on the ground. Keep your integrity of the hips. As you pull that rib cage across and hip across. Breathing in and breathing out, drawing the belly in. Nice inhale, nice exhale, you guys. And bringing it right into the center. Good. Now you're going to try to keep your shoulders back and rolling again your hips side to side. And just bring the bottoms of your feet together and the hips stretch open right across that lower belly. Now again, try to keep your back on the ground. Try to keep your hips from tipping backwards. Keep them nice and aligned and lifted. As you spread open, across the front of the hips, across the lower belly. Feeling your feet strong, hips strong. Lacing your fingers together, right? Turn your palms away, move the shoulders down the back. Try not to lift your shoulders toward the ears as you bring the arms over the head. Just breathe in, breathe out here. You're turning your head and your neck a few times, just stretching out the neck. And release and bring it into the center. Now we're going to close the hips in, so squeeze in those hips and the belly and tuck the knees in and coming into happy baby pose. So you're going to catch your feet or your thighs. And when you're in happy baby pose, you're going to try to square your shoulders and hips and just turn your head to the right. So without rocking your body, just your head. But your ear comes to the floor. And we'll do the same the other way. So head in the center and just turn your head as far as you can without rocking your body. And we come back into the center. Bring the legs straight up and just relax and let those feet and legs just float. If you want to bring the block under your hips for here, you can. Or if you want to bring your legs overhead, feel free to do that. Let's turn our palms up to open the shoulders. And breathe in, breathe out. And just get this good blood flow here. And then slowly, when you're ready, bend your knees and bring your feet out, arms away, eyes closed. And just be here for a couple minutes, just relaxing through the belly and the solar plexus. Making your exhale deep, your inhale soft. feeling an opening in the back, the shoulders, the neck, and the jaw. Keeping your mind on your breath. If you start to wander, just bring your mind back. Exhaling for a long time, making your exhale deep. Inhaling slow. Relax through the eyes, mouth, and the tongue. Feel grounded in your legs, grounded in your hips. Just let it go, let it get heavy. Feel light in the shoulders and the chest and the neck. Okay, so when you're ready, just start to open your eyes, move your fingers, wrists, ankles. Take your time, tucking your knees in and rolling side to side before you come to your side. And help your feet up to seated. And when you do come up to seated, allow the pelvis to be neutral. So it's not tip back, not tip forward. It's in a nice lifted position. Ribs connect, chest open, shoulders open, head is lifted. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. And stay joyful. Stay well. Stay strong.